Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you've all enjoyed lunch. We are so glad you're here. Before we begin the awards portion of our program, I'd like to take just a few minutes to speak from the heart about why we're gathered here today. Every day, Denver police officers are the first to arrive at the scenes of a crisis, but not every emergency involves a crime. Sometimes it's a moment of deep human vulnerability, a panic attack on a sidewalk, a person hearing voices and feeling unsafe, or a call about someone who's thinking about ending their life. And in those moments, how we respond, how you respond, makes all the difference. CIT isn't just a training program. It's a commitment to treat mental illness with the seriousness and humanity it deserves, a commitment to lead with compassion, and a commitment to be part of the solution. And that's exactly why we're here today. This afternoon, we have the honor of recognizing some of Denver's finest, police officers and co-responders who have used their crisis intervention team training in powerful and often life-changing ways. We'll be presenting award certificates and gift cards as small tokens of our gratitude. But what we really want to do is shine a light on the extraordinarily good work that so often happens quietly, in the background, on sidewalks, front porches, and back alleys across our city. To all of you who respond to these calls with calm, with care, and with courage, thank you. You may not always get to see the ripple effect of your response, but trust me, it's there. Let's take some time to honor that work. Let's celebrate the humanity behind the badge. Thank you, and we'll now begin our awards portion of the ceremony. Would Denver Police Lieutenant Troy Sandova please come to the front? When Denver Police Officer Andrew Van Biver arrived on site, he was met by a nurse and a front desk employee, both of whom expressed concern about a man experiencing a mental health crisis. The individual was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but was not currently receiving treatment. During the past 6 days, his behavior had grown increasingly unstable. He frequently yelled at staff and others and caused a disturbance in the library before the officer's arrival. While speaking with staff, Officer Van Biver could hear the individual approaching, shouting expletives as he walked down the hall. Recognizing the risk of escalation, Officer Van Biver and 2 security guards moved out of sight with staff to form a plan. A front desk employee reported that the man had threatened to shoot him and to bomb another employee. Given the untreated mental illness and credible threats, Officer Van Biver made the decision to initiate an M1 mental health hold. When the team approached the individual, he was immediately defensive and tried to leave. Despite the hostility, Officer Van Biver stayed calm, using de-escalation techniques and reassuring language. When the individual sat down briefly, the officer engaged him with compassion and patience. Though he attempted to walk away again, Officer Van Biver gently guided him back and continued building rapport. Through steady communication, Officer Van Biver explained that he wasn't under arrest, but rather he was being taken to get help. Without resistance, the man complied and was safely transported to Denver Mental Health, the medical center, for evaluation. Officer Van Biver's actions exemplify the highest standard of crisis intervention. Through his calm demeanor, empathy, and skilled communication, He ensured the safety of everyone involved while treating a person in an acute mental health crisis with kindness and compassion. Lieutenant Troy Sandova, thank you for accepting this award on behalf of Officer Andrew Van Biver.
Thank you.
Would Denver police officers Jared Quintana and Zachary Marcellis please come to the front? Denver police officers Jared Quintana and Zachary Marcellis responded to a call for service involving a potential mental health crisis. The caller, a man concerned about his pregnant girlfriend, reported that she had expressed a desire to end her life following a relationship conflict. Upon making contact, the woman was calm and cooperative. She shared that she believed she might be experiencing symptoms of depression and felt emotionally unsupported by her partner. Using open-ended questions rooted in CIT techniques, officers encouraged her to talk more about how she was feeling. She explained she was feeling overwhelmed and alone during her pregnancy, and her partner was emotionally distant. Although she declined transport to a crisis center or mental health professional, officers Quintana and Marcellis provided her with resources for future use, including contact information with a local walk-in crisis center and the Star Van program. A basic safety plan was also discussed in case her emotional state worsened. The woman expressed openness to further conversation and agreed to return to the apartment with officers to continue the discussion in a safe environment with her partner. Back at the residence, the officers facilitated a calm and respectful conversation between the couple. Both were able to express their concerns, feelings, and hopes related to their relationship and upcoming parenthood. Officers Quintana and Marcellis offered communication tools, personal insights, and resources to help the couple navigate their emotional challenges. A referral was made to the OCC program for ongoing family support and counseling, which both individuals welcomed. Officers Quintana and Marcellis' use of CIT skills exemplified the highest standards of crisis intervention. Through their calm demeanor, empathetic communication, and thoughtful approach, they ensured the safety and well-being of everyone involved while treating the individuals in crisis with respect and compassion. Their actions de-escalated a potentially volatile situation and also facilitated long-term support, demonstrating the true value of CIT training in mental health crisis response. Thank you. Would Denver Police Corporal Claire Isacson and Officer Ryan Pasuta please come to the front? Denver Police Officer Corporal Claire Isacson and Officer Ryan Pasuta responded to a family disturbance involving a juvenile experiencing a behavioral health crisis. Upon arrival, the mother informed them that her son, due to his disruptive behavior, would be going to stay with his grandmother for the night. The officers asked the youth to pack his belongings and prepare to leave his grandmother. However, within minutes, the youth began to escalate emotionally and verbally, directing intense anger towards his mother. Officer Pasuta and Isacson observed behavior that appeared manic. His mood and demeanor fluctuated rapidly between calm and aggressive, speaking quickly and shifting from joking to yelling. He made several alarming statements, including repeated threats of harm towards his mother. The youth informed Officers Isacson and Pasuta that he had reportedly grabbed a knife earlier in the day and threatened to harm himself. While unloading his belongings into his grandmother's vehicle, he appeared to respond with auditory hallucinations. The youth shared with officers that he had begun hearing voices over the past 3 days and that he no longer wanted to live. Officers Isacson and Pasuta utilized CIT skills to calmly engage the youth, exploring current stressors and discussing possible mental health support options. Through sustained rapport building, he gradually calmed and expressed interest in getting help, asking questions about treatment and support. Officers Isacson and Pasuta provided education about early onset mental health conditions and emphasized the stabilization and in-home services that were available. The youth responded positively, re-engaging in conversation and agreeing to cooperate. The youth was placed on a mental health hold for his safety, but voluntarily entered the ambulance for transport to Children's Hospital. A referral was made to the OCC team for follow-up and ongoing support. Officers Isacson and Pasuta's application of CIT skills highlighted their commitment to effective crisis management. Through their calm presence, empathetic communication, and careful attention to the juvenile's needs, they assured the safety of all involved while offering the individual in crisis the support and understanding needed in that moment. This incident showcases the value of CIT training in handling mental health crises with compassion and professionalism. Thank you both. Would Denver Police Officer Zachary Courier please come to the front? Denver Police Officer Zachary Courier was dispatched to a welfare check involving a person reportedly experiencing a mental health crisis. While en route, dispatch advised that the individual was reported to have a complex medical and behavioral health history, had attempted suicide multiple times, and had been seen in front of the residence holding a crowbar and a hammer while yelling. Upon arrival, Officer Courier was directed to the backyard, where he could hear someone speaking. They observed a male party standing just south of the home, holding multiple horseshoes and a hammer. The officer calmly asked the individual to place the items on the ground, which he did, but not without incident. As contact continued, Officer Courier observed the individual was then holding a knife in his right hand. At one point, threatening that he would kill himself, Officer Courier maintained a calm and composed presence, using verbal de-escalation skills to engage him as he moved to the corner of the yard. After several minutes of dialogue and rapport building, the individual dropped the object and voluntarily walked towards the officer. Throughout the interaction, Officer Courier remained focused on maintaining safety while demonstrating empathy and patience. The individual agreed to receive further assistance and was safely escorted to a waiting ambulance for transport to a medical facility. Officer Courier's response reflects the importance of coordinated, compassionate crisis response and highlights the effectiveness of CIT training in supporting individuals experiencing behavioral health crises and connecting them to the appropriate care. Thank you. Would Denver Police Officer Andrew James and Celia Munos please come to the front? Denver Police Officer Andrew James and Celia Munos were dispatched to a call about a suicidal individual. When they arrived, the wife of the individual stated that her husband had left the house, taking his antipsychotic medication with him. She worried because he had attempted suicide in the past and also had left his glasses at home. Officer James and Munos began searching the area and found him behind a 7-Eleven. The man told the officers he hadn't taken the medication, but said he wanted to walk off and disappear. Asking for clarification, he admitted by disappear, he meant he wanted to die. Officers James and Munos sat down with him for about 45 minutes, during which he opened up about the stresses he was feeling in both his job and his relationship. He shared that he didn't actually want to die, but needed help with everything that was going on. He thanked the officers for listening and said he rarely had someone to talk to. The man agreed that going to the hospital for help, including reconnecting with his mental health provider, was the best choice. The officers arranged for him to be transported to the hospital and made sure that his wife was notified in the process. He thanked the officers, expressing gratitude for the support and understanding they had shown during a very difficult time. Through the use of CIT skills such as active listening, empathy, and patience, Officer James and Munos were able to build rapport with the individual, allowing him to open up about his struggles. By creating a safe and supportive environment, they were able to guide him towards recognition that he needed help and ultimately leading him to a peaceful resolution. Thank you both. Would Denver co-responder Danielle Jones and Officer Alexander Castro please come to the front? Co-responder Danielle Jones and Denver Officer Alexander Castro responded to a local restaurant following a report from a therapist who expressed concern that a young client was in the restroom and potentially in crisis. The therapist reported that the client had taken pills to end her life. Upon arrival, co-responder Jones and Officer Castro were directed to the restroom, where the client was seated on the floor and visibly upset. When co-responder Jones entered with Officer Castro, the client requested to speak privately due to the number of people in the room. Officer Castro remained just outside the door while co-responder Jones spoke with the client. Through calm and empathetic dialogue, the client shared that she had been experiencing intense emotional distress over several days. She described ongoing feelings of depression and hopelessness, which had led her to taking large amounts of her antidepressant in an attempt to save her to overdose. Co-responder Jones validated the client's feelings and offered support, helping her recognize the importance of medical evaluation. EMS arrived shortly after, and co-responder Jones coordinated with them to ensure a smooth transition of care. Officer Castro and EMS personnel ensured the scene remained calm and supportive. The client agreed to go with EMS for further assessment. It was transported to Children's Hospital. Officer Castro followed the ambulance to the hospital, to support the transfer. Co-responder Jones and Officer Castro demonstrated exceptional use of CIT skills by responding with empathy, calm communication, and professionalism. By creating a safe environment, building trust, they not only prevented further harm, but ensured she got the immediate medical care that she needed. Their response exemplifies the value of collaboration, trauma-informed crisis intervention, and supporting community members during moments of acute emotional distress. Thank you so much. Would Denver Police Officer Michael Morlock please come to the front? Officer Michael Morlock responded to a welfare check after receiving a call from a concerned husband who had been unable to reach his wife. Upon arrival, Officer Morlock coordinated with the husband to safely enter the home. Inside, Officer Morlock located the woman in the basement, where she was found writing farewell letters to her family. She shared that she had been preparing to end her life, overwhelmed by emotional distress and an extended period of declining mental health. Officer Morlock, a veteran like the individual in crisis, immediately recognized the signs of a deep crisis and connected with her through shared experiences. She shared that as a nurse who had spent her career caring for others, she had recently neglected her own mental health. Officer Morlock spoke with her calmly and compassionately, taking time to understand her story and establish trust. Through this meaningful conversation, she began to feel seen, heard, and no longer alone. With her consent, Officer Morlock transported her to a local hospital for evaluation and support. During the ride, they spoke about their families, military service, and the value of life, including her own. The individual in this incident wrote a story that ends with, "I would not be here today had it not been for Officer Morlock's compassion and dedication to being a protector of our community, but also the humanitarian we all need in our lives when we need it the most. I will continue to get the professional help I need. Utilize the community resources available to me, and also place emphasis on advocating for mental health after my experience. Thank you to every person that participated in this life-saving endeavor. My faith in humanity has been restored. May God bless each of you." This encounter, an excerpt from the person helped, exemplifies the core of CIT training, meeting individuals in crisis with empathy and purposeful communication. Officer Morlock's ability to build trust through shared experience and compassionately connect the individual to life-saving care highlights the critical role CIT plays in protecting community members during their most vulnerable moments. Thank you. Before we close, I'd like to invite all of our award recipients to please join me on the stage. Chief Ron Thomas would be honored if you would join us as well. If you would all please come up. Yeah, were you guys good? Let's see. We didn't plan that far. who we've recognized today, thank you. Your actions have not only changed lives, but in many cases have saved them. We know that this work is not easy. We know that in many cases you are stepping into situations that are unpredictable, emotionally charged, and potentially dangerous. And yet the compassion, care, and professionalism you bring to those moments in crisis make all the difference. Today we've heard stories that could have ended very, very differently. If not for your presence, your training, and your choice to lead with empathy, you remind us what it means to serve, not just protect. It is our honor and privilege to say thank you. Thank you for keeping our loved ones and our community safe. Thank you for choosing compassion. And thank you for showing us what true leadership looks like. All right. Okay, everyone. Wow, it's so nice to see the police officers in person. You know, getting to read your stories is really, really touching. On a personal level, I'm so incredibly grateful to see the humanity, you know, the compassion, and the effort that you all put in. So thank you very much on behalf of NAMI for your time today, your effort, and for being the beautiful human beings that you are. We are so, so grateful to you. Thank you.